All right, so we are going to make this Neverland Heirloom blanket or Afghan. And to get started with this, it's a pretty simple stitch. It has 4 repeating rows. We're going to use a 6mm hook, a J hook. You will need 2 skins, or at least 850 yards of one color. I used, and this yarn is going to be discontinued. Let me zoom out just a touch here for you. This yarn here I used, it calls for a 5mm hook, and I went up to a 6mm hook. I had 850 yards of this really pretty waterfall blue of the Caron cotton funnel cakes. So 850 yards of that. And then I had 425 yards of the Meadow Prairie in the same yarn. This yarn is discontinued. However, to get started, you'll need your 6mm hook. We're gonna go up. So I recommend getting a 4-weight yarn and having 1,200 yards to get started. You'll only use about 1,000 yards total. So if you want to only stick with one color, you can. You don't have to change colors like I did to get this green border. You could keep it all the blue or whatever color you wanted to. But overall, you will need about 1,000 yards total of cotton number 4 weight yarn that calls for a 5 or a 5mm hook. And then you're going to switch over to a 6mm hook to get this incredibly beautiful lace effect. I also use a darning needle. I have a row counter to make things easier and stitch markers. And then in order to wet block and set, I use the 101 T-pins, which are 1 3/4 inch. So that is what you will need for this absolutely beautiful baby heirloom Neverland heirloom blanket that we're going to make today. Okay, we are going to get started with row 1, and I have chained 113. I'm going to put a double crochet into my 4th chain space. So I'm going to count back 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to yarn over, put a double crochet into that space. Okay. I'm going to put a double crochet into the next chain space. Then I'm going to, this is where our repeat is going to start. I'm going to skip 2 chains. I'm going to yarn over 1, 2 into the 3rd chain. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to put a double crochet, chain 3, and another double crochet in the same space. Okay. Then, and that creates a V-stitch kind of. So then we're going to skip 2 more stitches and do 5 double crochets. So skip those 2, and then we're going, sorry for the hair, the cat hair, dog hair, one of the 2. All right. Drop me a comment, a like if you have the same problem with your animals. So we're skipping 1, 2, and into the 3rd. We're going to start with 5 double crochets. So 1, then we're going to go 2, bear with me, 3, 4, and 5. Well, maybe. And 5. Okay. So then we're going to repeat that. We're going to skip 2. 1, 2. We're going to go into this one with a double crochet, chain 3, and a double crochet into the same space. Okay. Then we're going to skip 2 again and do 5 more double crochets. 1, 2, oop, I'll get in there eventually, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so then you're going to repeat that all the way down. You're going to skip 2, put a double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, skip 2, and do 5 double crochets. Repeat that all the way down. At the end of this, you're going to have 11 of these chain 3 spaces and a total of 78 double crochets. So we're going to be moving on to row 2. I finished up round 1 with 3 double crochets instead of 5, and I have 11 of these chain 3 spaces. So what I'm going to do is chain 1, and I'm going to go back into that same space, oops, sorry about that, with a double crochet on top of my very last double crochet in row 1. Okay, then I'm going to skip 2 stitches, and I'm going to double crochet into the top of that double crochet before my chain space, okay? Then I'm going to chain 2, 1 and 2. This chain 2 will serve as our beginning repeat. It's the beginning portion of our repeat. And so now you're going to yarn over and you're going to do 5 double crochets over that chain 3 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Then you're going to chain 2. You're going to skip this double crochet on the other side of that chain 3 space, and then in the first and last double crochets of this 5 double crochet set, you're going to do 2 double crochets together. So yarn over, go into both loops of that first double crochet, yarn up, pull up your yarn, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, leave 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, go back into the same stitch, yarn up, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through all 3, and that's 2 double crochets together. Then you're going to go yarn over and go directly into the 5th double crochet and do the same thing. So pull up, yarn over and pull through 2, leave 2 loops on your hook, go back into the same stitch, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 3. And then you're going to start that repeat over, okay? So chain 2, 1, 2, you're going to yarn over, go into that chain 3 space, 5 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Now we're going to chain 2, 1, 2. We're going to skip the other side of that chain 3. We're going to yarn over and do 2 double crochets into the first double crochet of those 5 double crochets. Okay. Yarn over and you're going to do the same thing into the 5th. Go into both loops of the 5th double crochet, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, go back into that double crochet, yarn over, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 3. Okay, so this is going to repeat over and over and over again. You're going to chain 2. You're going to chain 2, do 5 double crochets into your chain 3 spaces, and then in your 1st and 5th double crochet, you'll do 2 double crochets together. and then chain 2 again. So your repeat is going to be a chain 2, 5 double crochets in the chain space, chain 2, skip the far side, then you're going to do 2 double crochets together, and then 2 double crochets together and chain 2 again. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, so to finish up row 2, what we're going to do is actually do a 2 double crochets together, and this is called a T-chain. So we're going to yarn over, and we're going to go into this first double crochet of the 3 that we have left over. We're going to yarn up and pull through 2 loops and leave 2 loops on your hook. Get some yarn here. Then you're going to skip this stitch and go into the top of that chain space. Yarn over and pull a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over to pull through 3 loops, okay? And then you're going to chain 1 and turn your work, okay? So let me do that one more time for you. You should have a chain 2 left on your hook after your 5 double crochets, and you're going to yarn over, go into the first double crochet of the 3, yarn up, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, leave 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, go into the top of that chain 3 that made our first double crochet, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 3, and chain 1. Okay, and that's going to be row 2. Super pretty. Moving on to row 3. So you're going to chain 1. Oop. Let me redo that. Chain 1. Then you're going to yarn over and do a double crochet straight into that same stitch. It might be a little tight because we did the 2 double crochets together as our last stitch. So finish off that double crochet into that same stitch. Then you're going to chain 1 and you're going to do another double crochet into that same space, okay? You're going to skip the chain 2 space, which is right here, and then you're going to do 5 double crochets on top of those double crochets, okay, in that shell. 1, sorry about that, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The 5th one's going to be a little tight. There we go. Make sure you're getting both loops in that 5th one. All right, then you are going to skip the chain 2 again, and you're going to double crochet, chain 3, double crochet in between this 2 double crochet together, okay? So yarn over, go into that space, do a double crochet, then chain 3, and go back into the same space and do another double crochet. Okay, now we're going to repeat this next part over and over. So you're going to skip this chain 2 space. You're going to do 5 double crochets in that space, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 into the 5th one. Maybe. That 5th one gets me every time. Okay. We're going to skip that chain space. This is what it's looking like so far, okay? We're going to skip this chain space. And now we're going to do our V-stitch. Double crochet in between the 2 sets of 2 double crochets together, then chain 3 and do another double crochet in between those 2 double crochets together. Okay, so this is what you're going to look like. You're going to have the 5 double crochets on top of these 5 double crochets, and you're going to have V-stitches around those 2 double crochets together from round 2. So I will see you at the end so that we can close off together. Okay, so to finish up row 3, you're going to skip this last double crochet here, okay, or you're not last, but this double crochet, you're going to skip it. And I just ended with 5 double crochets. I'm going to yarn over, and in the top of our T chain, we're going to go into both of those loops, okay, just like that. We're going to yarn over, and we're going to do our V-stitch with a double crochet, chain 3, or excuse me, chain 1, and then double crochet, okay, just a standard V-stitch. Okay, so that's what your end will look like, and you should have V-stitches in between your 2 double crochets together and 5 double crochets on top of all of your 5 double crochets. All right, we are on to row 4. So go ahead and chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. We're going to place 2 double crochets into this chain 1 space, 1 and 2. We're going to skip this double crochet, and then we're going to do in our 1st and 5th double crochets the 2 double crochets together. So I'll do that again with you. Yarn over, go into both loops of that 1st double crochet, pull up your loop, yarn over and pull through 2. Leave 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go back into the same space, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. Then you're going to go over here to the 5th stitch, and I'm going to apologize because I live in the south and it's afternoon shower time, so you might hear that. But we're going to do this double crochet, so pull up your loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, go back into the same space, yarn over and pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. Okay, then you're going to do 5 double crochets into the chain space. Ooh, we got a chain 2, excuse me, chain 2. Then do 5 double crochets into the chain 3 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chain 2. And then you're going to do 2 double crochets together into the 1st and 5th double crochets, okay? And you'll chain 2 after. All right, so go ahead and repeat that, where you're doing 5 double crochets into your chain 3 spaces. You'll chain 2, then you'll do 2 double crochets together in your 1st and 5th stitches, and then chain 2 again. And I will see you in a second. All right, to finish up round 4 or row 4, you're going to do 2 double crochets into this space right here on the right side of that T chain. So 1 and 2. Okay, and that is what it's going to look like for round 4. Moving on to round 5 or row 5, we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to do 2 double crochets into that's one. The first is going to go into the same stitch that we did our chain 3, and the second one's going to go into the top of our second double crochet from row 4. We're going to skip the chain 2, and then we're going to do a double crochet, chain 3, double crochet between our 2 double crochets together. Okay, 1, 2, 3 chains, do another double crochet. All right, so then we're going to skip this chain 2, and we're going to do 5 double crochets on top of those 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to repeat this over and over, so let's do it one more time together. We're going to skip that chain 2, and we're going to do a double crochet, chain 3, double crochet in this space here between our 2 sets of 2 double crochets together. So yarn over, go between them, go double crochet, chain 1, 2, and 3, do another double crochet, that same space. Skip this chain 2 space and do 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so that's what it's gonna look like. And just keep doing that over and over, where you do skipping you're gonna skip all of your chain 2s sections, and you're gonna do a double crochet, chain 3, double crochet in between these 2 double crochets together, and you're going to do 5 double crochets on top of your already existing 5 double crochets. Okay, so to finish up row 5, what we're going to do is skip the chain space. We're going to yarn over. We're going to go into the top of your first double crochet here, okay? Yarn over and pull through 2 loops and leave 2 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, go into the top of your chain 3 from the beginning of row 4, okay? Yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 3, okay? Then you're going to yarn over and put another double crochet in that space. Now for that double crochet, I recommend going ahead and picking up the second loop just for a little more stability, and that'll complete row 5, okay? And then you can get started for round 6. All right, so a note on your repeat row 2, I've chained 1. I'm going to do a double crochet directly into that same space. Ooh, okay. Then the 2 that we're going to skip is our T-chain section, okay? So we're going to skip those 2, and we're going to put a double crochet into the top of this first post, okay? Just like it is down here. We have a double crochet in the top of the post down here for row 2. So go into both loops of that post, okay? And complete your double crochet. Oops. Goodness, I had both posts. Or both loops, and do your double crochet, and then you're going to start your repeat where you chain 2 and you put 5 double crochets into the top of your V-stitch. All right, so I've finished up my row 53 with my short V-stitch, and I will link in the comments below as well as the end of this video for you to continue on to part 2 if you would like to add that border. Otherwise, you're going to just weave in your ends to complete this blanket, and you can gift it the way that it is, or you can join me for part 2 and we'll add 5 rows all the way around all 4 sides together, so that this gives a little bit of an added touch. You can do it with a solid color, or you can do it with multiple colors in a